Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for some more time in God's Word. Our call out today goes to Matthew McIntyre, one of our listeners and partners from Carrollton, Texas. Matthew, thank you so much for your partnership in the gospel. This is for you today. I'm going to be reading Nehemiah chapter 12, and I'm going to be reading parts of 27 all the way down through 43. I'm not going to read all of it. It is a very lengthy text with a number of names, but I want to get to the meat of the passage here. So let me read it. It states, "And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem," so they're finally dedicating the wall, "they sought the Levites in all their places to bring them to Jerusalem to celebrate the dedication with gladness, with thanksgiving, and with singing, with cymbals and harps and lyres. And the sons of the singers gathered together from the districts surrounding Jerusalem and from the villages," and then he names some of them, and they're kind of all getting pulled into the celebration. Verse 31, "Then I brought the leaders of Judah up onto the wall and appointed two great choirs that gave thanks. One went south on the wall to the Dung Gate," so one went one direction. And then verse 38, "The other choir of those who gave thanks went to the north, and I followed them with half the people on the wall." So they went the other direction, or started in the other direction. Verse 40, "So both choirs of those who gave thanks stood in the house of God." So they arrived back at the temple grounds together, "and I and half the officials with me and the priests," and he names the priests. Verse 43, "And they offered great sacrifices that day and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy." I love that verse there. "The women and the children also rejoiced, and the joy of Jerusalem was heard far away." Now, I got to imagine that this event was something else to see and to hear, by the way. The people of God organized two big parades. One kicked off in the south and then weaved its way around the wall, while the other started up north, circling the city. Imagine a reawakening of spiritual and national pride, celebrated with unhindered singing and joy. And then the two parades joined at the temple for a concert of deafening proportions. So this last year, I attended a football game at Neyland Stadium in Tennessee to watch the Tennessee Volunteers play the Georgia Bulldogs. Great game. At the opening kickoff, though, the Volunteers ran the ball all the way back for an unhindered touchdown against the number one ranked team in the nation. And the roar of the stadium was incredible. I mean, that day, Neyland Stadium was rocking. It set a new decibel record in college football. A new one. 137 decibels, breaking the previous record from 1992, 133.6 decibels at a Washington-Nebraska game. It was loud, man. It was rocking. And that is probably what we should imagine here. A celebration that was so loud and so unhindered that at moments it was heard miles and miles and miles away by the enemies of God. And guess what? We all need moments like this in our life. Moments to celebrate. Moments that we mark as a new beginning. Days marked with celebration and with joy. And we shouldn't hold back if we're genuinely proud of them. We should be unashamed to tell the world about these moments. And one of these moments for believers is the event of baptism. Baptism is a Greek word that means to immerse, to submerge. It is one of the great New Testament symbols of rebirth and recommitment. It is a public proclamation of a personal decision to follow Jesus. As John baptized Jesus in the Jordan River, marking the beginning of his ministry, we too are baptized in water, marking the start of our ministry and the new life given to us already by Jesus. Now, symbolically, baptism expresses an identification with Christ's death and his resurrection. The old self was crucified with Christ through the waters of death, and now followers of Jesus have risen out of the waters of faith with him in the newness of life. Now, some of you listening today have been baptized. Good for you. You have marked a moment. You have marked that moment in your life with the celebration of baptism. But I also realize that some of you have not. Some of you have yet to be baptized, even though you've confessed faith. Today, I want you to change that. I want you to publicly mark your personal decision of faith, taking what has been private and making it public, telling the world, celebrating to the world what you have done. So tell your pastor or your leader or your spiritual confidant or maybe even me that you're ready to be baptized. And I'm going to tell you this, if you ask someone that you're ready to, do you tell someone you're ready to be baptized? They're going to be honored that you shared that with them. And guess what? It is time to wade in new waters of faith. And this moment makes that personal. It makes it personal, but it also makes it public. And I want to celebrate this with you. So if you choose to do this in 2024, that's this year, I want to know about it. I want to know that this is the year that you're going to mark as a new beginning through outward confession of faith by baptism. So reach out to me and let me know, because I made something for you guys here. I made this shirt celebrating that you went all in baptism. And I want to put this in your hands. So if you're going to do that this year, I want you to let me know, and I want to celebrate with you. We'll put this shirt on your back as a profession of what you have done, that you went all in for Jesus Christ. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you. If it has, let me know. Share it with someone else, and I'll see you right back here again.